Happy Friday again, Achieve Virtual Education Academy teachers, and woohoo! Another week down, and I-STEP testing for us down. A lot of schools still have the testing window open, so that's not the case for everyone, but because of our travel situation, we do only kind of travel for 1 week. We've got next week off as far as testing goes, but then ECA turns right around and we're back at it, so I think I got a slide dedicated to that. But over 1,000 miles traveled today. Or this week. So another fantastic job. We did have kids show up at every testing location. A lot of them look to be doing pretty well in your classes. So hoorah. Number one, summer school training dates. Those are set. So if you're teaching summer school, which is most, if not all of you, if you teach art, something like that, maybe I haven't heard from you, but I know you taught last year. So unless you tell me differently, I'm probably counting on you. And we'll send you something here to verify pretty soon if we have any, requests for that specific subject. But looking at the dates, we are going into May. It'll be after ECA testing week for us, and they're all at 4:30 except one. I put a little bit later if you're at one of the junior highs and want to make that one. But May 10th, 12th, that's a Tuesday, Thursday. The 18th, I think, is the following Wednesday, I believe. And then May 23rd, I forget what that is. It might be a Monday. I forget what date that is, but just FYI, please plan on attending one if you're teaching summer school. We got a lot to cover. It will be just a webinar if you want to schedule something face-to-face with Michelle and I, because you're uncomfortable with doing it on the web. But by this time, most of you, many of you, maybe not all, but many of you will have kids. If you don't have kids yet at the May 10th, I probably wouldn't show up. It may not be quite as beneficial to you. So as you get kids, maybe plan later up to May 23rd, and we'll kind of go from there. If you still don't have kids, but you're probably thinking you're going to get some, you always do, I would plan on attending by May 23rd either way. But we're going to cover Skyward for sure, which will be limited this year. I think you'll be able to find some of your student contact information in there, but you're really just going to be entering final grades, and then everything else will be done in It's Learning, I believe. So really it'll be a focus on just that final review before we cut you loose to start teaching in It's Learning. So again, write the dates down, schedule some time, and make sure you're able to attend. We'll go as long as we need to. If it's only an hour, it's only an hour. But if it's a couple hours, it's a couple hours. So plan accordingly. I do want your input on topics to cover as well. So this is kind of the topics I for sure am going to discuss. As mentioned, teaching and It's Learning, the grading, manipulation of assignments, student contact information, etc. And then Skyward, what you need just for summer school and beyond. And again, Skyward's honestly going to be limited. So where I thought we'd be spending a lot of time training on Skyward, turns out you're going to have be able to log into it and put in a final grade. Outside of that, everything else you'd be doing there, I think, can be done in It's Learning. So we're going to clarify all that with Michelle or Scott through our trainings, but FYI. And then other topics will be determined by you, and here's the link. I obviously, in the weekly update, I always send you the hard copy. You can click directly from the hard copy. It's going to be hard for you to click on the video, as you know, it's just a recording to get to this link. But this link allows you to input if we're not covering something already that you think needs to be covered in the summer school trainings. Please let us know, and we'll certainly take the time to plan that accordingly into our presentations. So again, thank you, Michelle, for putting this form together. It's very simple. It's like a one question. Hey, what do you need us to talk about at the summer school training meetings? The more we get, the more thorough we can certainly be in answering everyone's questions, and obviously we'll take questions in the day of the meetings. Final exam preparation. It's never too early to begin preparing or having your students prepare when and where. I keep saying this till I'm blue in the face, but we always have last-minute stragglers. I know you're going to get students who you don't approve to take it, and they're going to go to a library, and the librarian's going to type in the password. We'll have some of that, so make sure you're clear that they must also finish the class, that just going and taking the final and passing it doesn't excuse them from doing all the work. So front-load that information. That'll save some heartache and headache at the end. And then the password, I believe this is correct, Achieve Spring 16 should be the password for this semester. I'm sure if I've gotten that wrong compared to all the other weekly updates I've sent you, I'll get a lash of feedback, and that's okay. That's great. It's just I did this on the road and this week, and it's been a little bit crazy. I forget what time zone I'm in, so forgive me if that's incorrect, but I believe it's Achieve Spring 16. ISTEP versus ECA, as I mentioned, to kick us off this week. ISTEP over 1,000, and then we got a week reprieve. However, in that week, we're also taking summer school registrations, which I'll talk about in a second. And then we turn around that second week, and it's ECA testing. So it feels like all we're doing at the end of the close of the school year is testing, but we're almost there. I'm kind of excited to see what the final mileage will be for this year's traveling. I'm going to get with my secretary on that and see what the total miles is, because it will be a record with the addition of the multiple ISTEP testing dates. So pretty cool. Indiana's a beautiful state. Got to see a lot of it this year, but it's still just one of those things we got to do. Summer school enrollment, we will start Monday, April 25th. Getting tons of emails from other schools and districts and kids and are trying to register in our old system in Genius because we don't have the new one fired up yet. It's ready to go. We just need to tell the website company, okay, when they click enroll, make sure it goes to your form instead of Genius. And we'll probably do that sometime this afternoon, Friday. If you're getting kids, we kind of test ran some Madison Grant ones this week, and when I say some, I mean we had like 6 register. Today, Friday, we're having some more. I'm giving Madison Grant, since they've been that nice partner we've had since day one. I'm kind of letting them go ahead and get started, but Monday will be hot and heavy with kids coming from everywhere, and it's going to be crazy. Everybody thinks we're going to fill up in the first 2 days, so when do they try to register? The first 2 days. So usually it takes us about a week and a half to 2 weeks, because the registration process on the office end, our end, will take a little longer. I believe it'll probably take us closer to 2 to 3 weeks to fill up, most likely, but I could be wrong. So we'll see. Stay tuned, but bear with me if I'm losing my mind by the end of next week, because I do look for it to be a little bit hectic and chaotic. One, as we learn something new, doing new processes, and it taking a little longer, plus the constant email and phone calls as everybody's trying to get into a free summer school program. So just FYI, if you're teaching summer school, you'll start seeing your rosters building skyward here pretty soon, as well as It's Learning. They will not have access to the content. That's one of the things in the summer school training meeting that we'll show you how to do, but you're going to have to dump your content in. Similar to My Big Campus, except you don't have to assign all the work. It's already done, but just like Angel, you're going to actually have to pull the content into the shell that's created when we put a kid in. So just kind of looking ahead. Lastly, save the date. Every summer school we've been around, we've hosted a summer academy, a professional development meeting where we kind of get together for a change outside of the webinars, learn, here's some big important stuff coming down the pipe for Achieve and schools in general, and that kind of thing. And it's overall, we try to make it fun. Last year's was a lot of fun, actually, thanks to Michelle and kind of the amazing race theme. We'll see if we can follow that up with something else. The first couple years, it was the traditional sit and get and breakout groups. We are trying to get a little more away from that, so you guys can actually bond, share ideas in the virtual realm. In the climate survey that I had you guys take for me for IPLI, that was the weak area, was just teacher collaboration, and it's not really a big emphasis on building time in for that, but it's something we certainly need to look at, and the Summer Academy is always a great place to start. So save your date, July 12th, starting at 8 a.m. I think last year we were done by noon or 1. We plan till 2:30, and then we end up getting you guys out of there, but it could be earlier. Lastly, enjoy the weather. It's supposed to clear up mid-60s to mid-70s all weekend, so enjoy it. I plan to, before I come in Monday with my game face on, Amanda and I will be cranking out the summer school registrations. And then once we get past that, it's ECAs, and past that, it's graduation, which is June 14th, starting at 6 p.m. here at Ben Davis High School in the small theater if you're interested in attending or helping. So anyways, have a great weekend. Look forward to seeing you all again next week.